Definitely. It sounds a lot of fun. Are the
Mhm.
dunes the same dunes as the ones near Yuma, Arizona, or is it?
Oh yeah, Imperial Sand Dunes.
Yes, that's what they're called, Imperial.
Yeah. So there's like a few different sections of them. I believe Glamis is on one side, then the other side of the canal is called Gordon's Well. Then there's also Dumont Dunes. I believe that's in Nevada somewhere.
Ah, pretty cool.
Yeah. So there's a few options.
What do you feel when you drive over one of those ramps and do the jumps in stadium super trucks?
That's what people always say, like, oh, is your back hurting or like your neck hurting? But they have those trucks so dialed in, like we're jumping 100 some feet on some of them, especially at Long Beach on the second one on the front straightaway. But it's just so plush when you come down and land. It feels like just landing on a mattress or jumping into a foam pit. It's just
Has anyone suffered injuries from those or no?
not that I'm familiar with. Um, I'm sure maybe if they like held onto the wheel and like caught a tire, maybe broke a thumb or something. But from hitting the jumps, I'm pretty sure everyone's been all good.
Have you intentionally wrecked anyone or no?
No, never.
Good, good to hear. That's kind
Oh
of the
yeah.
culture in NASCAR, you know?
Yeah, that's a whole different world than what I've been involved with. So I'm sure if those guys are racing for millions of dollars and someone plays around and knocks them out of the playoffs, then who knows?
Have you ever had any moments though where you've wanted to wreck someone intentionally or
A few times. There's a few times back in my pro light. There's number 25. Uh, he just ran me hard a few times for no reason. I felt like so. Always wanted to give one back to him.
have you ever had a chance at that or no?
No, I never got one. I only got a race
Okay,
with him for one series or one season.
got it. What's your
Yeah.
favorite series you've raced in?
I'd probably say SST right now. It's my first full arrive and drive deal. So just show up with my gear bag full of fire suit, helmet, shoes, and just hop in the truck ready to go. And it's pretty sweet being able to hop out of the truck and everyone's in the same equipment. So I always heard it a lot in my short course days, like, "Oh, you won because your car's fast. Oh, you won because your dad's so smart." So now it's nice to get in these cars. Everyone's in the same equipment, no excuses. So sucks that I haven't been able to win yet. Got 2 seconds, but for sure something I need to knock off the list.
Have you come close to winning, like being on someone's bumper or no?
Um, Not too close. I got in Maddie passed me on the last lap at Long Beach, or coming to the white flag. Then two little mistakes, and he was able to get a couple car links on me, and I just wasn't quite able to get the draft on him. Then Saturday in Nashville, Robert got me coming to the white flag, and there was a little bit of brake fluid coming out of the master cylinder right above my feet. So I'm not going to blame it on that, but my feet were a bit slippery, so was not 100% trusting that my foot wasn't going to come off coming to some of those break zones. So once he got around me, started thinking about the overall keeping the truck together for the next day too. So in their moto format racing that they do, a second is about as good as a first on Saturday. So it just really comes down to on Sunday I just really have to beat Robert at that point.
Ah, got it. That makes
Mm-hmm.
sense. What's your biggest dream for racing? Do you want to race in stadium super trucks longer or do you want to do IndyCar? What is it?
Would definitely like to finish out the season with all the Stadium Super Trucks guys, and yeah, if I could, I've always thought GT3 cars were super fun just from driving them on my simulator, but been slowly getting more into downforce stuff. I was kind of against it when I was younger, but after running it on the sim, I'm hooked on them.
Glad to hear that. What's your favorite track out of all you've raced on so far?
Mm, Either Wild West Motorsports Park in Reno or Crandon in Wisconsin. That track's also a ton of fun. So that one, small town in Wisconsin, only about still there, got me. Only about 300 people live there throughout the year. Then they have a race that shows up on Labor Day weekend and Memorial weekend, and they'll fill it out with 60, 70,000 people. You'll see drone shots, and you just can't believe the amount of campers and trailers out there. But yeah, it's awesome. After the races, you'll walk back through the pits, start heading towards where all the fans are camped, and every other pit is just having a massive party. So it's a good time to go out and do some people watching as well.
Yeah. Have you had any good parties in racing that you've been a part of and good memories with it?
Usually at the end of each Crandon or end of each championship, everyone kind of comes together and everyone's able to kind of tone down a bit. The tensions aren't so high, so everyone's throwing drinks back. So everyone's just having a good time pretty much. At the end of each race season, that's when they really kick off.
For sure. I
Oh
remember
yeah.
watching those two Stadium Super Trucks races in Nashville a couple years back, and I in my first race that I saw, I think it was Robbie Gordon that won, and
Hmm.
Robert Stout won the second one. And in
Okay.
both races, I found myself in the position where when they came back around to the start finish line, it wasn't just the winner that did burnouts, it was literally almost every of the trucks,
Oh
you
yeah.
know. And I
Yeah.
just
No.
remember
Robbie
being,
says. Sorry.
oh, go ahead.
Robbie says like, hey, more than anything, we're here to put on a show for the fans. Like, if they have fun, they tell the promoters like, hey, we want to see those trucks come back. Like, that's what we want to hear. Then we'll get the better time slots. We'll get more people, more eyes on us. So, he says after the race, burn the tires off the thing, throw some smoke, have some fun, and get the crowd excited.
Yeah, for sure. I remember watching the trucks come back to the front stretch and do burnouts, and Robbie and Max were doing it. So was Maddie Brabham, and I
Mhm.
think Robert Stout did when he won the race. And I remember just applauding and cheering and excitement. But inside, I was looking at all the trucks doing burnouts, and I remember thinking, wait, who won the race?
Oh yeah, everyone's just having so much fun. But yeah, that's also a little game you got to play too on Saturday. It's like because the tires you start with on Friday are the tires you run all weekend. So if you end up winning the race on Saturday, you don't want to get too excited after the race. Then we'll have any tires left for Sundays.
Oh, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I think part of that is because they want to make sure that the competition is equal, right?
Hmm. Yep. Then so then you don't have some guy saying like, oh, he got fresh brake pads, but I don't have fresh brake pads. He's getting favoritism, blah blah blah. So nope, you get same brake pads you run, same tires you ran, but they do give you a little bit of setup if you want to adjust camber, caster in the front, sway bars. So you do have some options with setup, but just don't be expecting to get new tires each day.
Yeah, they just want to make sure that someone wins and there's no excuses, right?
Exactly.
That's really good. I love series like that where there's no cookie cutter cars, in this case, cookie cutter trucks.
Yep, exactly. No, it's a ton of fun being in equal equipment as everyone else. Oh, sorry, my dog's getting excited.
Oh, he loves racing as
Easy,
much as
buddy.
you do. He wants to join in
Oh
the chat.
yeah. Easy, bud. Hey, come on, go relax. Yeah, no, he's a big baby. He's a super softy, so.
I have a dog named Bunny with an I.
Oh, nice. Yeah, this is Frankie right here.
Nice to meet you, Frankie. Name's Doug.
What's up, bud? Can you give him a wave?
Yeah, you should see when I take Bunny through Starbucks.
Oh, she just knows what's coming. The little puppy cup.
Yeah, she has a smile every single time.
Oh yeah. No, dogs are the best.
Yeah. So, what's your favorite racing movie between Days of Thunder, Talladega Nights, Grand Prix, Cars, all that?
Oh man. I Rush is probably my favorite racing movie. Actually only saw it for the first time 2 years ago because it's hard for me to watch racing movies. I don't know why. It's just I try to pick up the flaws too much in them whenever I watch it. But really enjoyed Rush. Enjoyed all the original footage that they would throw in every once in a while too. So and just amazing how spot on Nicky Lauda's character looked in the show.
Do you follow F1 at all?
I try my best. I follow NASCAR a little bit more, but got a bunch of friends that are into it, so they usually fill me in with all the news that's going on with it.
Have you ever been to any NASCAR races?
Never been to a race. Been to qualifying at a Auto Club Speedway, but that's about it.
Have you met any big names in racing other than Robbie Gordon and all that?
Good friends with Sheldon Creed. He runs the Xfinity series. Let's see. I know a few guys from the moto world. So Jeremy McGrath, Ryan Villapoto. Met some of those guys just through kind of working together a little bit. But yeah, besides that, Rob McCachran. Never really met too much of the NASCAR guys too much yet.
I've met quite a bit of NASCAR guys. I've met Kyle Larson. I've met Jamie McMurray. I met Derek Cope.
Oh,
And
nice.
while I was in Nashville for the Grand Prix a couple years back, I actually had an accidental meeting with Penske.
Oh, there you go. A little bumping.
It was not just a bump in, it was a bump with the golf cart.
Oh boy.
I was talking with a friend in an empty field, a friend of mine that went to the race with me, and I was chatting with her about the ending of Indy car practice. She was not very knowledgeable in racing, so I was kind of showing her the ropes throughout the weekend,
Mhm.
from my own experience with races. And while chatting with her in the empty field, which was near the bleachers and the grandstands, I backed myself up into the path of Penske's golf cart and got hit and fell to the ground. And you can imagine when I was on the ground, I was thinking, okay, who's the idiot that ran into me? And then
Oh
I
yeah.
stood up and saw who it was, and my attitude changed. I was like, holy cow, Penske. And
You got to be
just,
like, oh, my back. I need pit passes for the weekend.
I was more focused at that point on just the excitement of meeting him. And one of the first things I said to him, he said sorry, for the accidental bump in, and
Mhm.
I was like, no problem, man. But can I have a picture?
Yeah, more importantly.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where if you grow up a huge racing fanatic with a family of people in the racing industry, like my grandparents and all that, my
Mhm.
grandfather worked for Napa, you
Okay.
can you can almost accept when someone like Penske runs into you.
Oh yeah, Roger Penske, Chip Ganassi. Just they can run me over with a golf cart as long as I get a ride out of it later.
Yeah, I was cool with it. It didn't leave much of an injury. It was just a bruise that I got the next day, but
Yeah,
that's pretty
chilling.
much it. But it was a funny memory. And that same weekend, I also met Little Al Unser
Okay.
Jr., and a
Oh,
few
nice.
other guys.
Sweet.
What's your favorite race of all time?
Probably Crandon. Get to go there, then just seeing the amount of people that show up for an off-road race is just amazing.
That's amazing. Yeah, it's all a great sport. And what's your spiritual journey been in the sport, you'd say?
Um, just never think that it's over, I guess. Just always live to race another day.
Pretty cool, man. So, what are your hopes for the future?
Just keep on racing wherever I can find a ride, really. If would like to finish out this SST year, but don't have anything really set in stone yet for 2024. Would like to go back and race and really end up going for the championship. Just really just getting my feet wet this year with the class. This is my third weekend that I've ever done on asphalt. So still trying to get my feet wet, figure out how all this stuff works on the road.
Pretty cool, man. Where can people find you?
I'm on Instagram, Myles Cheek 57, and on there most of the time. I got a little bit of stuff on Facebook, but not on there too frequently. But yeah, just Myles Cheek 57 on Instagram.
All right. So this is the final question I have, which is how can your journey impact millions of race fans?
Man, just never give up. I thought I was done racing at the end of the 2020 season, and here I am and sitting third in points in the SST series in 2023, 3 years later.
Yeah, it's amazing that the world recovered from COVID, that, the future was uncertain for a lot of people that year, including me.
Oh yeah, just sitting there, and I had a few race cars, and it's like, shoot, am I even gonna be able to sell these things? Like, I don't even know what's going on, but thankfully was able to not get my full money's worth out of them, I guess, but was able to get rid of them for a good price, and was able to be safe for a few years, just making sure, seeing how everything played out.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that's all we have for now, but we thank you for coming on.
Perfect. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So everybody, please check out Myles Cheek on his Instagram and his other social media platforms. Please hit like and subscribe, and we'll see you next week for the next episode of SFM.